All right, welcome everyone to the Orange Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for August 3rd, 2020. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the members of the board who are remotely present, at least in spirit anyways. We have Mr. David Crow, we have Mr. Rudolph Miller, we have Mr. Pat Panza, and my name is Noah Eisenhandler. Just to let you know, because we have one application tonight, we also have our zoning officer, Jack DeManager, hope I'm pronouncing that correct, and Deb Satanica, who's our doing the recording secretary, or the secretary actually. The procedure as follows: will take 4 positive votes to approve variances acted upon this board. All variance approvals must be recorded on the official land records in the town clerk's office to be valid. All other actions of this board must be acted upon within 1 year to be valid. Now we have 4 members today, but that means to the applicants that you're going to need 4 yes votes, positive votes, if for your variance to pass. Normally we have 5, but we only have 4. So you do have the right to ask for a continuation of this hearing until we get 5 members, in which case you only need 4 votes. So it's your call. You can think about that for a minute. All hearings will follow the following order. All correspondence will be read into the record. The applicant will be heard first, followed by anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application. Afterward, anyone in opposition will be afforded will be heard. If there is opposition, the applicant will be for a short rebuttal. All persons that are addressing this board, well, you don't go from the podium, you do it from your comfort of your home. Just to give your name and address prior to any testimony. Before we begin, I'm going to ask the members of the board if they reviewed the minutes of the meeting of July 6, 2020, and if so, are there any changes? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes as written?
Put a motion to
Miller.
I put a motion to accept.
I made a motion to accept. David seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we have 1 matter down today. And I'm going to read the notice. Rudy, how long have you been on this board?
At least 40 years.
This is the first for all of us, I imagine. All right, notice is hereby given that the Orange Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a meeting on Monday, August 3rd, 2020 at 7 p.m. There'll be an online Zoom meeting to conduct a public hearing on the following. Petition number 1814, submitted by Joe Torello. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Joe? Torello?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. For property known as 85 Norman Street for the construction of a single-family dwelling on a pre-existing non-conforming lot. A variance of section 383-30C setback from street line is required. The application materials are on file in the Orange Zoning Office. The copy of this notice has been filed with the Orange Town Clerk, dated Orange, Connecticut, the 15th day of July, 2020. No ayes in the Chairman, Orange ZBA. All right. Having said that, I'm going to call the first one, which is the only one, and that's Mr. Torello's application. Are you going to speak, Mr. Torello, or is Mr. Shepherd going to speak?
Well, I could speak to start with.
Okay, but before we begin, let me just ask you a question. You have the right to have this meeting continued because we only have 4 members. You can have it continued next month when you have 5 members because you need 4 members to approve it. So you're going to need everybody has to approve your variance if it's going to be granted tonight, or you can wait till the next meeting. Hopefully we have 5 members, and at that time you only need 4 of the 5. So before we begin, it's your call how you want to proceed.
Let's proceed, please.
Okay. All right. What's your name, sir?
My name is Joe Torello.
And what's your address, Mr. Torello?
My current address is 3 Lakeview Rise in Beacon Falls, Connecticut.
Okay. What would you like to tell us, Mr. Torello?
Okay. Norman Street is a town unapproved road, and it travels from Racebrook Road to Spit Farm. Back about 10 years ago, half of the road was abandoned by the town, just past the property line where I wanted to build. And so it actually ends at the end of the property line, which you have the maps in front of you. I did try to get all the land that I possibly could, and I did get another 40 feet from the Smith family, Bud Smith and family on Whitewood Road. So I own 80 feet on Whitewood Road and 200 feet on Norman Street. But the big thing is that the lot only goes back 110 feet. What that is Paramount Park that was put in many, many years ago. And they sold lots of 20-foot lots. Why they did that, I couldn't tell you, but that's how that whole area is. And all the houses and the buildings around that are all non-conforming. Because if you come from Racebrook Road and you drive west on Norman Street, which is actually a modified driveway, because we maintained it for 50 years. I did, and now my son is maintaining it for 50 years. My two sons, which live up on that road, plus the two residents on each side, but all the residents coming up that road are only 25 feet from the road. It's been like that for as long as I could remember. And that's like 60 years.
Okay,
So if there's any other questions on that, but like I say, I couldn't buy any more land. There was no more land for sale. And the northwest corner, the northwest corner, there's a little house that's up there and has been there for years. So that's where I'm abutting it in the rear of my property. If you see that on the,
It's on 5 Wood.
that's on 5 Whitewood Road. And there is no other land available.
50 feet.
now, if I may ask you a question, sir.
Go ahead.
In order to get a variance granted by this board, you have to be able to show that there's a hardship unique to the land, not an economic hardship. What specifically, what is your hardship?
Oh, I can't buy any more land and I'd like to put a home up there.
Oh, it's got to be unique to the land. It's, I know in the application you put down, that's a non-conforming lot
That's correct?
and the lot configuration. No, there was a house on here, wasn't there?
No, not on the land that I propose, no.
I know there's a doghouse on there. I saw that.
Well, we own that land and there was a doghouse on that land.
If I could ask a question, please?
Go ahead.
You mentioned that Norman Street was half abandoned by the town just past the property line.
That's
Correct.
correct.
And you said that you and your sons have really been maintaining Norman Street as a driveway. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Understand you? Does the town have anything to do with Norman Street at all? Do they plow it?
No, they do not. We do all the plowing on maintaining it with millings, whatever we could get, yes. That's the only way.
Who put up the stop sign? There's a stop sign on Norman.
I mean, on the end,
It's been there 75 years.
it's been there, the state put it up. Because it actually was a road that went out to Racebrook.
Okay.
So essentially the road you're at, you have frontage on where your driveway is your driveway, right?
Yeah, right.
And the only other people that have frontage on it are your sons.
That's correct.
And what are your sons' names?
One is named Joe the third. And the other one is Michael. He's past it. He's the one that part of the abandoned part of the road.
Okay.
I got a question. Did you do any perks on this property as yet? Or is there
The
water?
engineer is on. Alan Shepard, the engineer, is on.
Oh, okay, very good. And,
Yes. Yes, we did do percolation tests and deep hole tests, and we have an approved plan for the health department.
okay, very good. And, where's the, forgive me, I don't have the drawing in front of me. Where's the, septic system set up? Rear of the property?
Again, it's Al Shepard, and the septic system is towards Whitewood Street in the back. So we have the house in the front, the septic in the back,
Isn't there, in that part?
Down towards Whitewood Street, right?
towards
Is that-
Whitewood,
Yeah.
towards that T part heading
Yeah,
out to Whitewood.
So the property's in the shape of a T. There's 80 feet on Whitewood and 200 feet on, I guess we call it
Norman, yes.
Norman.
driveway.
Alan, again, the question's for you. Isn't there a water course in the back over there that runs through there?
No, nothing in the area.
Nothing in the area. Okay,
It's in back of Whitewood. That water course is in back of the houses on Whitewood. So
That's
there's
what I thought.
nothing, yeah,
nothing
nothing.
behind this property.
It's on the north end of Whitewood.
Okay,
Matter of fact, we had very good soil there and we got a septic system without using septic sand, which is a rarity in the town of Orange, as long as I've been doing work there. So it was good soil.
all right, good.
So
Any other questions? Anybody?
you're asking for a setback from Norman Street, correct?
Right.
Which is it, I'm still confused to whether Norman Street is owned by the town of Orange or not.
No,
No, it is not.
Maybe we have another problem. Maybe it's a back lot.
A back lot? What you mean?
Well, your frontage is on a road that isn't a road. And then that would mean your frontage would be the 80 feet on Whitewood. Is that right?
No. Frontage will be on Norman Street.
If I could expand a little bit on this,
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
the Norman Street was abandoned to Smith's Farms Road. So that means the town to abandon part of the road must own the other part of the road.
Understood.
Whether they maintain the road or not, doesn't convey ownership, just because it's neglected doesn't mean that, the town to abandon part of it would have had to own that part to abandon the road. So
Okay.
just good. And then I would say the hardship here is because it's a T-shaped lot that Joe moved his house. If not for that angle of the T and the 50-foot setback, the way Orange takes that 50-foot setback to parallel to the road. In most other towns, that would be a side yard. But
Right.
by pulling that, giving the 50 feet to the neighbor, the only neighbor that's impacted is his son on the other side of the street.
Okay.
And it's in uniform with the houses on the street.
With the setback.
I think
Just
he
got
put it
that.
right in a nutshell right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
Yep.
Does
Thank you
does
for
your
that
map,
clarification.
Norman Street wasn't abandoned and therefore your frontage was really Whitewood, but you cleared it up for me. Thanks.
so you're looking for a 23-foot variance for the corner of the house there? The front.
Yeah, I think that's what the maps show, yeah.
Yeah, I think David brings up an interesting thing about the street. So the town has nothing, it's an abandoned town street.
No, the part past the property is abandoned. But
Okay.
they never abandoned this section in front of our property. They
Isn't
just
it,
don't maintain it.
isn't it kind of a dirt road too? I mean,
Yes.
I drove on it yesterday.
Yes,
kind
it's
of.
a dirt road.
Yeah.
It's a millings road. It's paved with
I
millings.
got
Yeah.
dirt rock.
So how is the property owned by Joe? How, if it's abandoned, did Joe purchase the property?
No, the town still owns the road, I think.
They don't maintain it.
The difference is if it's never been an official accepted street road, the town still owns the roads. Just because they neglect it, if we will, doesn't mean they don't own the property underneath. Like many dirt roads that we have throughout the state, not every road is paved with drainage and, full-fledged accepted, you will, city road.
It is a
So
unique
the only variance or what he can't meet is that corner of the 23-foot.
The front setback is zoning variance, the rest meets
Meets the,
the requirements except for what's pre-existing non-conforming with the area of the lot.
right, so he meets it on as far as the non-conforming portion of it.
Right,
On a non-conforming lot,
it's a non-conforming lot.
right,
These lots have been around for a long time.
right.
And if you push it back, you're gonna need two variances.
That's correct.
This is the best solution for this property, the way it's set up. According to if that's where the septic system has to go. That's the only place the septic system can go, is that correct? Alan,
Correct. It lays out nice with the septic system in the back. We'd be forcing it to put it anywhere else. And we picked it so that the variance wasn't towards his neighbors. It went towards the street. So we thought about moving the house back a little bit, but then we would have to add two variances. And we purposely set the grade so we can have a patio in the back and not a deck. So we can maintain 50 feet to
Right,
the
right.
property on Whitewood Street.
So the system, this is set up for a 3-bedroom house?
Yes, we could easily went for more, but Joe just wanted a small house that he could live in and maintain. And you know what? There's a need for that in Orange. So I think it will be viable for years.
Okay. I'll tell you, Matt, this, good.
All right, anybody else, any other questions for the applicant or to the engineer? No? Everybody's shaking their head no? All right. Anything else you gentlemen want to tell us?
No, I think we covered it all, unless you have a couple more questions.
Well, let me just say this. We got, and I'm not gonna read every letter, but I will put on the record that we did get letters from neighbors saying they don't object to it. The first one is Missy Thompson of 340 Smith Road, no objection. I can't read this person's writing, but it's 80, their address is 85 Norman Street, which is,
That's my son across the street.
how long is that house across the street?
That house is, well, I would say it's long. Exactly how long it is, I don't know, but it is a long house.
It's gotta be like a football field,
Yeah, it is.
but he's objecting to this for you. Oh, no, I misread.
No, no, he's not.
Not objecting.
I hope not.
Okay, 97 Norman Street,
That's my other son. That's my other son up on the right as you go
all right,
up.
well, thankfully, he's not, we'll take care of you when you get older, okay?
Yeah.
329 Racebrook Road,
That's
that's-
exactly why we're doing it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Daniel Haley, no objection. Another Hattrick on 322 Racebrook Road, no objection. Your neighbors behind you, 5 Whitewood Road, Jerry Blasnick, no
Yes,
objection. Jerry and Mrs.
that's the little house on 5 Whitewood.
Yeah, and there's another 338 Smith Farm. I can't read the Gregory
Como.
Levine, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Now, we do have one letter from your neighbor to the northeast. It says, and I will put this one in the record. This letter was to our zoning officer. As with any zoning, this is from Malik Boutros, who is they live right next door to you. But they're on the other side of the driveway. It actually doesn't impact their end of the property. As with
No.
any zoning action, the result of this proposal should not be harmful to adjacent properties. Potential harm could be in the form of restricted access review, noise, lights, or any other effort not normally experienced by property owners in similar circumstances. Also, it should not be injurious to neighboring property. Due to the fact that our 4-year-old grandson stays with us 3 days a week, we have planned to put an above-ground pool for him close to the border between the two properties. Therefore, for the safety and privacy of everyone involved, we would like the property owners of 85 Norman Street to put a green fence, trees, between our properties should this proposal be approved. Now, I don't know how that makes it safer.
All I can say is we're over 80 feet away from that property line.
Yeah, you're 82.5, so quite honestly, I don't
Aren't they responsible for the fence?
think I put a pool up. I didn't think I'd have to put some kind of fence up there.
That's correct. If they're gonna do a pool, they have to secure the pool.
Wait, what, Rudy, what'd you say?
I said I don't think it's relevant to this case.
No, I don't either. I mean, if he was on the other side, there may be some consideration, but I don't think so. But anyways, that's it. All right, anybody, the applicant, Mr. Shepherd, anything else you guys, gentlemen, want to say?
Nope, I think we're set everything.
All right, is there a motion to close the meeting?
Move to close.
Motion.
Rudy makes the motion, Pat seconds it. All right, so we're gonna make a motion now to approve the variance as presented, without any green fencing. Does someone make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
David makes a motion to approve the variance as requested.
I'll
All right,
second.
Deb? All right, Pat seconds it. Deb, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Rudy? Do you approve, Rudy?
Yes, he said yes.
Oh, I didn't hear him. Dave?
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Noah,
Yes, your variance has been granted. Good luck to you, sir. Sorry for the confusion at the beginning, but it's the learning process for all of us here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck.
you.
It's an interesting piece of property out there.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to close the meeting?
I make a motion.
Yeah.
All right, Rudy makes the motion and Rudy seconds it too. Rudy makes the motion, Pat seconds it. All right, we're adjourned. We're all set.
All right.